This is lesson 117 on page 476. And it's on set builder notation. So it's not new material in terms of computing values, but it is a new way to present the material to you. All right. So there's some symbols on page 476, if you just follow along with me. That N with the double bar at the very beginning is natural numbers. They start at 1, 2, 3, and so forth. W is whole numbers. It begins with 0. So we're not going to use those very much. The Z with the double line in the middle, the double bar in the middle, is really integers. And it's really almost like that. Integers are all of the whole numbers on the number line, from the negatives all the way from negative infinity to positive infinity. Infinity is not an integer, but that's what it is. We've dealt a lot with integers. The Q with the double bar on the left is rational numbers. And really we use a lot of integers and all reals, right? Reals is every value on a number line. So it's fractions, any rational numbers that are, repeat decimals or terminating decimals, all of those values on the number line. Here is where we're going to hang our hat on, really, is on the real numbers. All right, so traditionally, you have had a problem like x plus 2 greater than or equal to 4, and your domain was element of all reals. Now we're going to put that in set builder notation. So it's going to be a set. So the solutions are going to be a set. And you begin with that type of a parentheses, where x is an element of reals. Then there's going to be a line, and you read that such that, and then you write your function. X plus 2 greater than or equal to 4, close your bracket. All right, so it's a set of all x values in the real number set such that x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 4. And you're going to solve this part and graph it. So let's do it. X plus 2 greater than or equal to 4. Remember, we simply subtract 2 from both sides. And we have x greater than or equal to 2. And when we graph that, if that's negative 2, 0, 2, it's here, out. So this is the piece that you're going to be graphing. This is if it's one-dimensional, right? A number line is one-dimensional. If it is two-dimensional, then your set builder notation will look different. And that's the one example that's in the book. All right, so look what this one says. This says the set of all coordinate points, that's a coordinate point that are elements, and now look at this, our reals are squared. It's squared because we're in 2 dimensions, length and width, so it's 2 dimensions, all right? Such that, that's what that line, that's what you read when you see the line, such that, and we're going to have 2 equations because we're in 2 dimensions, and we're going to graph them. Such that y is greater than x plus 2 and y is less than the opposite of x. All right, so we want to graph those. Here's what we're going to graph. That equation, and we will shade the area that satisfies both of the equations. All right, so let's look at y greater than x plus 2, and we'll look at y less than the opposite of x. Okay, we can pretty easily graph these on the xy coordinate system. Remember, you know, guys, you got to label your numbers. I'll go out to 4. All right, so let's look at this one. When x is 0, so you solve it like it's an equality. Then once we graph the line, then we will decide what area, what region satisfies that. Okay, when x is 0, y is 2, so it's 0, 2. When x is -1, so let's go to -1. -1 plus 2 is 1. And when it's +1, y is 3. Because it's greater than, it's a hyphenated line. Because it's not equal to that line, right? And so you graph a hyphenated line. It's y greater than. Greater than is the region above the line. All right, now let's graph this one. When x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, y is -1 because it's the opposite of 1, -1. When x is -1, the opposite of -1 is 1. This also is a hyphenated line. And it's less than, so it's the area below it. Now we have 4 regions. All right, so this region satisfies this one, but not the one with the negative slope. This region satisfies neither of them. There are no arrows pointed towards it. This region here, down below, satisfies the line with the negative slope, but not the line with the positive slope. This region over here satisfies both of them. So this is the region that you shade. Okay, not really new material. It just is set up differently.